Hello, welcome back to Golden Arrow. Last episode we did a bunch more stuff in World 6. And so we're gonna do, 14. Oh, we're down to the last level. I don't remember that, but I guess we are. Alright, I guess we're gonna move on to level 14 now, the Great Snake. Yay! Alright, Great Snake, you cannot zoom in on this one. But that should be okay. Alright, this is one big snake. Oh, I'm holding on to it too. Alright, it's fine. The snake can actually be just placed down, but I somehow need to rescue everything inside. We get a four-way balance here. There are a lot of these things here. This puzzle looks... well, it's not. It's symmetrical in like a few different ways, but not really. Like, in terms of the arrow goals, it's rotationally symmetrical. In fact, it's four-way rotationally symmetrical. But in terms of the puzzle itself, the arrows are more so symmetrical horizontally. I can get in here myself if I hook you onto the red arrow down there. I can start maneuvering you guys around. Don't know how good this is going to be, but... yeah, I mean, there's definitely some way to move these guys around, I guess. Jeez. Okay. I definitely know that I don't want an exit to be here. Do I want to do the exact same thing as we did for the box level? The box level is I put... I think it was a down arrow. I put the down arrow like on the edge as some sort of like... as some sort of blocker? Or some sort of platform, like this. So that everything else can come out like that. Meaning that the next thing that's to come out is, I think, purple. I don't know why I did that. That didn't feel very good. I mean, sure. Ooh, okay. Things are getting very rough here. There's a lot of movement that I'm not foreseeing. But yeah, the same ideas should still hold, right? I gotta put, like... since the exit is gonna point downwards, the last thing that should come out is blue. Blue should be holding up everything else. Although, to be fair, you also get some nice balances. Like, for example... there should be... oh, there is no balance. I was thinking that, like, putting an arrow here would leave a balance because... you know, usually there are spaces like this that can cause a balance. But the reason why there is no balance, for example, if I push down here, purple will follow suit. It won't form a hole in here for a balance. It's because for there to be a balance for purple when moving down, there must also be something moving towards the left to like sort of block purple's way here, which isn't happening. Can I just try to solve the box again? This is not the box. Box. How do I solve the box? So similarly, I put blue there. Red actually looks like it's gone already. No idea how I got that to happen. Okay. Yeah, and then like this was good, right? Kind of. Not really. Although I do think that this is maybe good. Yeah. So that's how I solved this one. I think this is solved. It should be solved, yeah. So that's how I solved that. The idea was what? So when blue was in the corner as a platform, it acted as a platform for purple, but red was on purple, so red didn't have blue as a platform because blue, you know, is the downward falling platform. So purple lands on blue, red lands on purple, and then green lands on red. If I wanted to emulate that exact same set of movements here, can I do that? Oops. So get blue down here, then purple and red form a balance. Okay. So balance is formed. We form this exact same configuration. If I pushed up... that's a balance issue. This might be okay. I don't even know what this is balancing against. It's balancing against green. I was kind of hoping that... I was kind of hoping that blue didn't do that. I was kind of hoping I could move this balance around a little better. I wonder if I can actually do that. I could also do this. That's also valid. Yeah, this arrow is big enough. I can basically push it anywhere I want it to go, even though it's falling. Basically. I want this balance. I also want this balance to sort of move down a little bit. Can I actually pull that off? I mean, maybe. I want to push down this way. I think I want to push down this way, then do that. Because that allows me to pull back up. Right? And I can maybe pull up and do some sort of like hooking. There's no hook there. But if I can't hook, I can't enter anymore. Okay, that's a problem. Could I have like I want to do this like where I push this out of the way so that this blue arrow can move up and down. I kind of want that, right? So can I do that with blue already being part of the platform? Maybe. This blue being the platform there. Can I perform this sort of move? I can't leave. I could potentially leave if I just, did this. Oh, okay. Never mind. How do I plan to push this? I push this up like that. There's a balance going on somewhere. It's this green against the blue. It's also this purple against the blue, but in either case, okay. This push is bad. Actually, all pushes are kind of bad from here. Okay. I think the idea might not be the same. Yeah. I suppose it's theoretically also possible that... No, I think I still want blue to be a platform. I definitely think I still want blue to be a platform. But like at the same time... this box, this thing falling is actually kind of a problem. I feel like I should just shuffle around first. If I can shuffle stuff around, maybe I can do something better here. Green is kind of an issue, I think. Green is a big problem, but purple is kind of also a big problem. And that's an interesting balance. Yeah, we got things being held around by purple and red. So I suppose now we have something. Yeah, green being there, I can push like the snake left or right. And if green were far enough outside, green can just land on the... green can just land on the arrow. The only problem is that blue arrow also kind of follows and falls. So I can like do this, but otherwise it just doesn't really make any sense. Maybe this is not the best idea. This might not be the best idea. Oh, I don't get this one then. Like, okay, if blue were a platform... And we kind of got... What could we have gotten? Like, I mean, suppose I somehow wanted this sort of 3 arrow setup to exist here. Like, that is possible. The only problem is that, like, I can't really put it up here because the arrow falls. So, like, that's actually the main problem. Can I... Kind of moving blue around a lot here. Yeah, the arrow, the box falling is kind of a big problem with this one, I think. Okay. Well, if it is, actually, pushing like this moves the entire setup down a bit. I don't know if I like that or not. I can move it around. I can kind of play around with the balance if I wish to. It's not a very safe move though, I don't think. This does not create a balance. There's no balance here. Right, for the exact same... We talked about this. Yeah, because like this falls, right? Maybe green can help. So like if green were... So green now has to fall this way to act as a balance, which means I can now push this upwards. and therefore deal with the bottom few arrows a lot easier. Okay. But I also don't want to mess with this balance first. I'm gonna push this over. Actually, if I push you... like how? This? If I did this and then that. That's a balance here. Yeah, I think this is also retrievable on its own, really. I think it is. It might not be. Actually, no, I think it is. I think it is. Alright. I sort of see it. But yeah, now that green is the one helping to hold up the big blue arrow, I can push everything else out. I can do this one further. The reason why I want to do that is so that red will fall into the right column. Okay. In that case... let's create a... let's do this from here. I want to push... Ooh. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these moves kind of break the entire balance that I want. I want this initial balance to be a little further out, so I want green to be further out. But I also want to be able to move this balance around easily, so I think this might be good. That's good. There you go. So this move lets me move these two arrows at the same time, which is what I'm looking for. Alright, so that should help. What is... Right, yeah, I see a problem here. There's a balance between these two arrows. I can push this out and then that should solve it. I could push it the other way around and that should... Yeah, that would solve this problem. Okay. So now to deal with purple. Okay. Is the next step maybe to do this? No. I want to get... I want to do that, right? I want these two arrows to be together. Oh, red might experience a problem. How does red get all the way there? Ah. How is red getting all the way there? Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember that being... Huh. How is red getting over there? What is it doing? I know I can form a balance with blue here. But how is that useful for us? Yeah, and this balance doesn't really help do anything for us. How does red get over here? Like, the only thing I can get here and get out is purple. But it's kind of difficult to have that happen. Right? Purple... Purple... Huh? Oh, that's a big problem. Yeah, wait, that is a big problem. The only real exit points for red are like... not even real exit points. Or like that... I mean, this is the only feasible exit for red. I know red can be held up, but... red can't be held up for that long. I suppose red can be held up in other ways. Like, for example, red can be held up like this. That's technically holding up red. That's not really holding up red anymore. Yeah, look at this. What is this? How do I get this out? Should I restart? No, too late. I can't undo a restart. The main idea still stays the same. I think green is the one that holds up the arrow. Because green is actually freeable. Like, for example, I think something like this will free green. I just push out. And then, like, you know, there you go. Green is free. Green survives. So green can actually just stay inside as a platform or as a holding object. Red is the new problem. How? I really don't see any legitimate way for red to get out. I mean, one way I can see it is maybe like red being at the... I want to get green to be part of the holding platform first. So yeah, that can happen. If I did this and I kind of like try and get my way out, I don't know if I can get red out before myself out. Because red has to be pushed out, right? I have to be in the box if I do that. The only other way I could have thought of doing that is being outside and pushing the blue box, so that the red arrow kind of moves out in relation to it. But we don't have enough space for it. Yeah, we don't have enough space for it. I mean, another thing I could do is like pull from here. But that's basically the exact same as pushing out when the blue box is already in here. I can still hold up the arrow, but I can't really leave, can I? I don't think so. Maybe purple arrow were outside already. If purple arrow went out first, I mean, it still can't be held. I mean, it still holds like this sort of nice, yeah, but no, red is a problem. I don't have any vision as to how red can do its job. Okay, how can red get there? How can red get there? Like, what has to be outside to hold red in place? If I wanted red to fall out of the block, out the box, and like into a balance. Like, I kind of want red to be here, and I'm, you know, if purple were like holding on to it from below, and then there were like a gap in between, I could sort of maybe try and yeah, the problem is that I don't know how to pull that off. Okay, also purple kind of needs to, okay. Let's get this to happen. Let's get this to happen. That happens, this happens, okay. I want this, but see the problem is that like red can't really, red is blocking the way for purple. So I can't actually get purple out either. If I try to push purple out, red just follows and like blocks the way at all times. Actually, if red were already here, it would already be naturally held up by blue, I think. By the big blue box. Because the blue box is also trying to fight for this spot. So like if I got it to... Ah, okay. So that means if this blue arrow were the one blocking the way, then yes, this could happen. And therefore, I could do what I wanted to do, which is hook red up onto here. And I could make some extra long track to try and get red over, which I think works actually. Okay. Oops, not too up. That works. And I think that means that we might be okay, we might be good to go. Does this fall? It does, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so if that's the case, I think that means I can get purple out first, and then because purple has nothing to do with this entire setup, and then green is easy on its own, so I think that means we're done. Hopefully there's no extra weird stuff going on, but we should be fine. And then blue is already in a good spot as well, so okay, so switching places. The first step is purple. Okay, I don't want to do this. I want this. No. So, purple out first. Okay, purple's in a good spot. Red will go out, but red is also held up by blue like so. But this has to happen here, because we need to make 2 up pushes so that red can get in its spot. So if I didn't do that high enough, you can get red to there, but you can't go any further up, which means that you have to start from the very, very lowest. It's like, despite how big this level looks, it actually is the minimum space required, which is kind of crazy to me, honestly, but yeah. And then, yeah, okay, I think that means we're done. Okay, so that entire like up the staircase was because blue and red were falling against each other, which is good. Then we can repeat this process. Red is in its spot, and I should be able to get green out. like how I expected to be able to get green out. I think I kind of demonstrated this before. It's this move. So yeah, that's why this space exists apparently. It's because this blue arrow will fall. You gotta use an extra space here to make sure that green doesn't get stuck inside of the box. Okay. We should be good at this point. Okay, I think that's it. Nice. What a puzzle. Hey, got an achievement for completing the Forbidden Temple. And that means we are down, we're done with 6 worlds. Now on to World 7. Only 8 levels. And that will actually complete all the levels in this set of 82. Alright, we can, I think we can like look at it because we are 20 minutes in. Alright, little pyramid. Anything new? Yes, that is a, oh, that is a golden arrow. Alright, golden arrow does nothing. Golden arrow doesn't even fall, right? It's not balancing against anything, is it? No, it's just a pushable block. Okay. Surprisingly, none of these other arrows have any goals anymore. Okay, so I suppose this move is not enough. Because this move causes this arrow to fall. I want something to block here. So I sort of want this balance to be pushed one higher. That, I mean, that also works because now this purple arrow will fall against you. That blocks the portal. I can push the golden arrow in. Also, I realized there is no more bottom panel. That took me a while to realize, but that bottom panel no longer exists. Why is that? No idea. Also, is this an elevator? I think this is an elevator. The goal is to get you in here. Again, you don't fall, so even though you look like you're falling upwards, you're not actually falling upwards. I can't go around and around. I can only go in and out from here. I wonder why that will eventually be useful. I suppose when the golden arrow gets here, I will need to enter here and then, you know, push this way. But, alright. If I'm expecting to have to enter from the top floor, I might as well just leave this open here first. Although in reality, I can actually set it to any floor I want for now. Okay. This will fall. I don't know if I want it to fall because it doesn't look like a very good idea. I can also push this. I think the only way to get you down is by clearing 2 of the 3 spaces here. That is interesting. That is actually 2 of the 3 spaces, I guess, but we probably have other problems. I think we do. Yes, because I wanted to do this to get you out of the way, but no. That's not good enough. I suppose if I did this, then maybe we have a bit of space to work with. I can get you out of the way. But now I can't access this area. However, I probably could have calibrated the elevator to do that. So now I can do this and then leave here with this elevator. That should allow this push and I think we're done. Wait, but first I need to recalibrate this elevator to the top floor so I can leave through there. There you go. Interesting the mechanism here. Very interesting. Also, we don't get level names anymore, but these should have level names, right? The Hourglass, Cursed Maze. Did I accidentally like switch on the... Oh, I can't even zoom in here. I wonder why that is. Anywho. Okay, so... Jeez. Here... Okay, what is the path you take? You have to enter from the side here, because I can't push you down from anywhere else. Mean you have to enter from here, because you can't have entered from here. From here means you have to take... I think you just have to take the center route. You have to take this center spiral. But that means like every single one of these arrows have to go out of the way at some point. I don't know how useful this is. Like, these 2 arrows kind of block the way. Although I suppose this would unblock the way. Maybe. Green is kind of a problem, I think. If I first made this push, you know purple is gonna have to do something to get out of the way, but this push actually fails. So I think what I have to first do is move this purple out of the way. That gets red stuck there. Interesting. I mean, there are other things that are also possible. I suppose. And there are definitely other possible things. Is this a storage puzzle? Like, do I store the arrows, or is there some, like, weird route where I have to work with the puzzles at the same time as moving the green arrow in? Like, if I think about the actual route and what spaces I'm using, if I go here, I have to get to this area to push right. I can come back here easy to push up. I have to take this area to push right, and then this area to push down, and then this area. So the entirety of the levels area is used, meaning that you can't just store these arrows in any spot and then call it a day, I think. Oh, that is going to be a problem. I don't like this red arrow being in the way. I think right now it looks fine, but eventually I'm gonna have to come from here, so like this red arrow is already blocking the entire way. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't even know how I'm supposed to stop that. Actually, I suppose a blue arrow could be useful in that. But green arrow kind of also blocks the way. If I did this, that would block the way. I think this might also block the way, so that's not good. If blue were here first, blue could hold up this blue. That could actually be okay, because if you're holding up this blue, then this blue would be stuck in this position until I push this golden arrow up. At which point the blue can just... can the blue actually fall here? I don't know if it can. Well, it seems okay. This entire other section is kind of like something I'm afraid of. I don't actually know how to get this section to be like resolved easily. Do I? Not quite sure if I do. I honestly don't think I know how to get this resolved properly. Because whenever I try to move the purple arrow away, then this red arrow becomes a problem. And I don't want to stop that red arrow from becoming a problem. Unless this purple was already meant to be there. Unless something else blocked the way. I suppose, you know, technically this blue could be the one blocking the way. But no, I specifically want this to be empty. So it's almost like I need a balance between red and blue here and here. Just so that I can exactly travel through this path. Well, then that kind of also means purple has to be somewhere else that isn't really obstructive. And yeah, that's hard to pull off, I would say. Okay. There's this move that does something. I'm not entirely sure what it does. But it does something. Suppose eventually that move has to be made. Maybe that move can be made. Actually, when can that move be made at all? I need to clear this block out at some point. I really don't know if the first move should be easy to spot. I suppose I just let the red arrow fall. Well, isn't this push still... I guess now purple can do that. So I have actually a free path to push this arrow over. But then what? As I said, this move is fine. Because now golden arrow can hold up that arrow and then this push can be made. But you see that blue arrow kind of also blocks the way eventually. I mean, okay. Then... you know, we can form a couple balances. That's useful, I think. In fact, like I get like barely enough space to make two big balances, or two balances together. And I'm not sure if this, you know, works out for us. It might work out. But also it might not work out. I don't know if it works out or not. It doesn't look very useful anymore. Yeah, because I can't really enter and push up from here. See, if I try to push up and get the green arrow through... Well, I suppose that can happen. I'm not sure if I need that anymore. Okay. What does that mean? Not quite sure what that means exactly. I guess these 3 arrows can do that. They'll have to be rid of at some point, but we should be fine. Yeah, okay, so this is where the problem starts occurring. So I want to push this down from here, and I cannot because red arrow is in the way. And red arrow has always been in the way. There was no real way I could have gotten rid of it after, you know, the initial fall. So, how do I get rid of this red arrow? This red arrow is a big problem. I don't know if there's like any of these arrows here can kind of form a balance which prevents it from falling. But doing that feels a bit difficult. Because firstly the arrow, like, you know, it's either a green here, which honestly doesn't do much for me. Actually, at some point the red arrow needs to go away from this column because gold is going through here. If that's the case... Okay, I want to say like maybe this move. If I can move this balance up, maybe that'll be fine. That kind of works. And then if I had space, I could put this red arrow in here, while gold comes down through here. And if gold comes down through here... Okay. But the problem is, how do I not mess up with the other balance in doing that? I can't deal with these alone. These 2 arrows are very stuck unless I mess with this red arrow. Is there anything else that can happen? That can happen. Cool. I don't want to push this red out of the way, but I can't do it the other way around either, can I? Because then this block is definitely in the way. So what could I have done? So I wanted this. So now, you know, that red arrow is definitely in the way. This one. It's a similar situation of how that arrow is in the way there. But you know, we can sort of do this maybe. Yeah, it's a very, very big problem. Okay. If I could have gotten... Let's see. There's no push here, right? There's no push there. What? Yeah, that's just... What? I'm so confused. I know this push seems to be fine. This arrow being here is okay, I think. I mean, I suppose what that arrow over there can do is it can help hold up red for a while. Doesn't help. Maybe. It doesn't give me any more space. Like, if I did it again, maybe it'll be fine. The reason why it'll be fine is because... Actually, why would it be fine? No, it wouldn't. What an odd setup. I don't know. I sense this blue arrow being useful here, but I don't see why it's useful. I don't know if there's any gunslinger trick that I can pull off with this arrow to make it get it to balance. But I don't even know what I can balance against. There's just very little way I can get this to work, right? Like, the first move is definitely trying to get rid of this purple arrow. The second move is using some weird way to hold this red arrow up, maybe? I was thinking if this purple arrow were here and then this red arrow were here, that is a balance. And then that balance could theoretically, you know, give me space to work with. It's actually a really good balance, but I don't know if it's a balance I can pull off. Because how in the world am I going to separate these guys and then still... Hmm. I wonder if this green can help. Maybe this green is useful. No, why would it? It doesn't do anything different. It makes a balance here, but you know, we know that this blockage is bad anyway, so like why would I ever want anything to be here? Like realistically, again, it's definitely just purple has to be up there, I think. But like it's very hard to separate these guys in the first place. It's like, do I want to separate these two maybe? Do I have an easier time separating these two? This setup just looks very like unbreakable. Also, is this golden arrow just a pushable block? Because, you know, I don't think there's any like extra, you know, thing I can do. That looks really bad. This looks so bad. I'm pretty sure there's no way to save me from that. But there's no way to save me from here either. Unless there somehow is, but I don't think there is. You have to be a gunslinger. Like either that, or then we save ourselves from here. I don't know how I would do that. I'm basically like, you know, essentially just sacrificing this pathway. I'm not sure that's a thing I want to do or not. I mean, it looks like it works. And by it works, it looks like there's a lot more stuff I can do from here. I can use this method to get arrows down there. I don't know if I want an arrow down there. It looks like maybe not a good idea. Yeah, actually doesn't seem like a good idea at all. Well, I don't necessarily need to use the arrow to push. If I got the arrow far out enough. Actually no, I do need to use the arrow to push. Huh. Interesting. That is unless... Yeah, no, it's always gonna be like that, huh? Okay. Is this bad? I would say it is. It's the exact same... It's kind of the exact same way that this is arrows here. It just prevents this pathway. So like maybe I push it up there and then like... That blocks a pathway in an equal sense, but like we block one less pathway by doing that. No, yeah, so how do I push this down? I just cannot. Right? It seems like I cannot. It just seems like the red is just in the way. I have no idea how to solve that problem. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna leave this for next time. Oh jeez, yeah, this is just wow, what a puzzle. Alright, but yeah, next episode we're gonna move on to these harder-ish puzzles, I would guess. And then we'll see what we can do from there. So until then though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.